Never mind. The host has disabled that, and I don't have authority to do so, Shane.
Oh, yeah, you joined back in, didn't you? I mean,
All right.
how about now?
Now I got it.
But
First and foremost, welcome to the Rotary Club of Carbondale. Today is November 4th, and our guest speaker is Magdalena Dul of Centerstone with the Youth Action Committee. Thank you to Sierra Allen and Shane for being greeters this morning. It's time for the Pledge of Allegiance. Jerry Malumbi, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes, if you'd like to stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag
The flag.
of the United States
of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
stands one nation
under God,
indivisible, justice and liberty for all.
I stood up with too much enthusiasm and my chair rolled away from me. All right, time for our moment of reflection. And Sharon, I did get your message here. So I've got a moment of reflection from Sharon Lawrenskis, and I'm also going to click on that link and share my screen there so folks can see what we're talking about.
I had decided to do this before I knew what today was going to be like, but knowing that there would likely be some kind of winner and loser. This whole PowerPoint is something that was done. It's just a collection of things about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And if I would be happy to share this with anybody who wants it. Actually, it came from my good friend, Harriet Simon. But the quote, which is on one of these slides that says, thank you, Rick. This one, don't be distracted by emotions like anger, envy, resentment. These just zap energy and waste time.
Thank you, Sharon. It's, there's some very wise words. I took a couple minutes to flip through that slideshow earlier today, and I highly recommend it. Some great quotes in there from Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It's time for what is many people's favorite time of the day, and if you watch carefully, you might be able to see somebody dancing. Today's song, I'll bring this back over here. I figure everybody needs to smile today. I know there's some stress levels that are high, so we're gonna smile today, everybody.
We weary just be cheery all day long. And your cares, then you can really bear. World smiles with you, sing a song.
All right. I saw a couple smiles out there in the crowd. I'm going to introduce our guests today. Today, our guests on board, it appears that we have Orbeck, our visiting Rotarian, who is with us almost every week. So thank you for joining us, Or. And then Edrica McDowell and Magdalena Dul of Centerstone are with us today, and as our guest speaker and guest of the guest speaker. It's time for our club announcements. Our virtual board of our 100 Little Things is updated each week. So we have 32 projects completed. I know that I believe Shane gave yesterday. He had the wrap around his arm, and I gave a double red for blood yesterday with the American Red Cross up at Egyptian Electric. I encourage everybody to continue that so we can excuse me, can knock out our 100 pints of blood that we're donating. Still working on 100 hours of community service. I heard Nick today talk about his update with tree planting. Got Faith Miller, you're raising your hand. Go ahead, Faith.
Yeah, okay, I'm looking weird. I do want to say that I have 61 pairs of eyeglasses collected so far, so getting close.
Awesome. Thank you, Faith. Any other updates for the 100 Little Things? Anybody else got a quick update for that? No? All right. Seeing none, we'll keep moving on through. Our club duties helping out week to week. Thank you for those that are assisting this week. The next 2 weeks, November 11th and November 18th. I believe we have a couple openings for those. So please take a look at that. If you have not volunteered recently to head up one of the club duties, please do so. Our active service projects, Carbondale Warming Center, we are still sponsoring our lunches at the Carbondale Warming Center. So please, if you could continue to pay your lunch dues if you're able. Even though we're not having lunch together in person each week, those lunches are being provided to the members at the Carbondale Warming Center. I don't see Gail White with us today, but I do know that they were looking for financial donations and looking for toiletries, etc., over at the Warming Center. So, Jerry, do you have any updates on the Warming Center? Looks like we might have lost Jerry. We'll keep moving forward. Our foundation donation challenge, $100 matches to our club foundation. We're booked all the way through June of 2021. So thank you to everyone whose names are on there. Sharon Harris Johnson in October, and now that we're in November, Linda Meredith. So thank you, Linda, for volunteering for the foundation donation challenge. Time for some district news. We did have for the last couple of weeks the Polio Plus matching points. That process is over. But if you had something you meant to send in, let me know. Let Shane know, and we can get you in contact with Lanny Lanker to get those set up. Our membership challenge in our own district, in our own club, we've got a $100 challenge for whoever can recruit the most new members. And at the district level, whichever club recruits the most new members between August and December 31st of 2020, the club with the highest gain gets $500. The second prize is $300, and the third is $200. Shane, as our assistant district governor, do you have any updates on where we might stand with that contest?
We are either in second or third place. There was some numbers that'll be tabulated tomorrow, and I'll let everybody know next week. Last week we were in second place, but I know one of the O'Fallon area clubs added 2 members in the last week, and I don't know what their count was before that, so I don't know if we're tied or if they passed us. So it's a good time to invite people to Rotary. If it's a great time to join. With club development, you know, we're getting fairly close to launching a satellite club in Murfreesboro. So those counts could come toward our club if we're the sponsoring club. I've got to check with the district to see if they will allow us to count those toward this challenge. If we're sponsoring 8 people to spin up a satellite club, will they actually count toward this membership challenge? So we're not down yet. So let's keep going.
Great. Thank you, Shane. Rotary International news. We talked a little bit earlier, and we've talked for the last couple weeks about polio eradication. As we stated earlier in the year, Africa is certified polio-free. Afghanistan and Pakistan are still a battle, but we are very close. So if you're able to contribute to that fund, like I said, reach out to Jim or Shane or myself, and we can get you coordinated with that. Now it's time for some of your good news. Who's got some good news to share today? Or I can't tell if you raised your hand or if you're just driving. So don't all speak up at once. Who's got good news today? I know somebody's got something.
I did. This is Faith. I did serve as an election judge yesterday for the first time, and look forward to the next time.
Why did you tear it up?
Anybody else? Jerry, you're muted.
As an election judge, I was real pleased that everything went so smoothly. Everything is, you know, we have a good process that's alive and well in this country, and I got reinvigorated by that yesterday. Uneventful. Really good about seeing people come and do their voting.
This is
I
Lynn.
agree, Jerry. Sorry, I agree, Jerry. Did have one voter, had to remind him to remove his hat. And luckily his family members were there to remind him that he needed to remove his hat. They said, oh, we didn't know, we forgot all about it. He seemed just a little huffy, but I thanked him when he left and it was all good. That was the only thing. And we were doing our best to try to help thin the line down, but I can't believe how many wait until the last minute, but it all turned out well.
This is Linda. We also had a peaceful day at Precinct 8 where I served as an election judge, and I also donated blood last week at the, what's the name of that church, Carl? At the church by the Memorial Hospital.
Any other good news for the day? Okay. Well, Sergeant at Arms, we don't have Gail White with us today. Do we have anybody else who wants to serve in that capacity this afternoon? Seeing none, it looks like we're all off the hook. Time for our guest speaker, Ms. Dul. I'm going to welcome Magdalena Dul from Centerstone with the, I believe you're speaking about the Youth Action Committee today, but she's also with the Positive Youth Development Coalition in Jackson County. So.
Yes. Do I have access to be able to share my screen?
I'm working on that right now.
Okay.
Stop my share.
All righty.
I made her co-host, Rick.
There you go. So you can go ahead and share now.
Okay. And let me just pull it up. Oops. All right. Okay, everyone sees the PowerPoint? Okay. So I just wanted to first start off by saying thank you all for being here, or I mean, I should actually say thank you all for allowing me to come and speak to your meeting. My name is Magdalena Dul. Everybody usually calls me Maggie. Really, whatever is just easiest for everyone. I am the community youth organizer of the Community Youth Services Program. With me, I had also brought Edrica McDowell, my boss, who is the Community Youth Services Manager. So I first wanted to just kind of start off by, you know, some of you guys might not all know a whole lot about this program, but this is where I'm gonna kind of explain. So what is CYS? So CYS is our Community Youth Services Program, and it is funded by the Department of Human Services. So our mission is to strengthen communities and ensure youth reach their greatest potential. Our main goal is to prevent violence and delinquency among youth by using strong community supports. So we have currently 3 boards, which is our area project board, so our positive youth development, our youth committee, which is our youth action committee, and then also our community committee, which is our youth community collaboration. So through the work of each committee, we plan to provide support, education, linkages to youth ages 11 to 24 years old. And in order for me to kind of better explain why I'm here, I need to kind of, probably explain, what our youth action committee is, and then as well as our community committee. So our youth action committee, we also call it our YAC team. This is a committee comprised of youth 11 to 24-year-olds among Jackson County. Our groups originally have met bi-weekly during their school lunch hours, but due to the pandemic, we've been unable to meet in person. So in order for me to maintain and keep our groups going, I have been in contact with members by calling them individually, providing them with weekly check-ins. One of our goals is to increase positive social activities for these youth, but because it's been hard for us to do some of these activities, obviously in person, and obviously, it's kind of hard to do some of these activities via phone. I've been able to go over some life skills with some of the members, including like communication skills, stress management, like through breathing techniques or something, anger management, goal setting, problem solving, decision making, just a whole bunch, like a vast majority of life skills. We currently have 3 active YAC groups. We have 10 members in Murfreesboro Middle School, but currently because of the pandemic, we have kind of put a little bit of a pause on them per the school, just because it's been really hard for some of the students to be able to just keep on with their schedule. But right now we've got about 17 members in the Carbondale High School. And so what we've been trying to do is we've been trying to meet with them through via Zoom. So we're kind of starting to get that back up again and hoping to meet with them more regularly and being able to kind of get back on with those activities. So some of you guys probably might think that this is more of like a youth specific program, but this is kind of where I need you guys to come in. So our YCC, or our youth community collaboration, is our community committee. It's primarily comprised of parents, teachers, counselors, school and community members, basically just different people among the Jackson County community. So all of our goals between the 3 of our components, or 3 of our boards, are similar to one another, if you might have noticed, in that we are trying to prevent violence and delinquency among our youth within our community. We are trying to empower youth to enable them to get the resources that they need to get them involved in their community and the issues that impact the youth in our area. And by empowering the youth, we empower the community. And empowering the community, it has showed to decrease traditional and behavioral problems. And research has also shown that strong communities are less likely to have youth use drugs and alcohol. So basically, you would be looking for gaps in services where youth are not feeling supported. They would look at what resources they need to be brought into the community and how to market those resources better. In order for our youth to do this, we would be helping them by, you know, addressing safety and security in the local schools, neighborhoods, the public areas, identifying new and existing resources to support the needs for the youth. And we have actually also, which I didn't bring with me, we do actually also have a resource guide that we have developed together with the youth. So this is pretty much a resource guide made by youth for youth. This is so that they could kind of advocate for themselves a little bit better, be able to feel independent, and that way they don't have to feel like they have to rely on an adult, whether it be a parent, guardian, or whatever adult they might have in their lives. In order for, so we would actually provide referral and linkages to address gaps in the services for the youth to maintain continuity of care. So as far as being a part of the community committee or our YCC, the only requirements really is that you have to be a resident or working in Jackson County. We do have 10 sectors to fill, which as you can see, we've got the business, parents, schools, healthcare, faith-based, media, and all those. And there's not really too much a requirement when it comes to meeting. We meet via Zoom, so kind of like we are right now. And we meet only once a month. It's pretty much every first Tuesday of the month. Basically what we want to do is we want to address stigma and implement strategies to assist the youth, whether it be with mental health, education, employment, just some positive social skills. So what we need really is just looking for someone to fill those sectors of primarily business or judicial courts, media, law enforcement, but really anyone, as long as you're working or living in the Jackson County community, you're more than welcome to be a part of our committee. So, and that is my whole program. Does anyone have any questions? I'm not sure trying to figure out how to make this bigger to stop the sharing. Am I still sharing?
I was wondering, how can you get involved? Is there like a link that we have to sign up through, or how does that work?
So basically, in order to get involved, all you really have to do is just contact me, and I can just kind of lead you through kind of what we do when it comes to like being a part of our meetings and all that. So really just my contact information, I could either put it in the chat box. I'm trying to open up my meeting controls so that way I don't, but for some reason it's not opening. But I could put it into.
Can you give us some examples of outcomes of, you know, all of these meetings and these different groups? What kinds of concrete things or outcomes can you list for us to give us an idea of how this works?
So as an example, so it's been a little bit hard to meet with some of our members just because the majority of the pandemic has kind of taken away the time to be able to meet together. But as far as, you know, during the time that I was doing the individual phone calls with some of the members, I would say one of our greatest examples was, you know, just being able to talk to the members talking about the pandemic, anything that might be bothering them. We have discovered that this individual had, felt like she needed to repay her dad, and she owed him money. And she also wanted to buy a reptile as a pet, and so we have kind of discussed goals, which is where like the goal setting life skill would come into place. We had set goals for her on, what she kind of wanted to do. And through that, she had talked about, she needed to do some budgeting. She also said that she would like to have a job. And so through all of those goal settings and through all of the, just talking about the life skills, she was actually able to obtain a job. She was able to pay off her dad and just, by budgeting out how much she wanted to pay him off, whether it be weekly or monthly. And she was in the process of actually being able to buy herself this pet, this reptile. I think it was like a snake or something. But, so just doing life skills like that with the members, it really helps them to be able to go into, lead like a more self-sufficient lifestyle and have like a sense of independency.
I just wanted to say, like, within the community, what we're looking at trying to do, and this group or this program has kind of basically got started last year, and then the pandemic hit, and things are kind of different this year. So we really just started with the Youth Action Committee last spring. And so what we're looking at is building up these youth action committees and being able to bring our youth and other members of Jackson County community to like the area project board, to our youth community collaboration, in order to see what changes need to be done within the environment, within the community that would help assist the teens in having a more positive environment in which they can do activities with their families or with other teens. Our project area board, which is the positive youth development, is a big part of that. We try to support family vacation nights. We're also looking for other ways, that we can be a positive influence during different times within the community, such as if it was a normal school year, like homecoming or prom or things like that, where we can do community events that would be safe environment for the youth. So I don't know if that answers a little bit more of your question too. So individually, we definitely want to, meet the needs of the youth, but within the community, we also want to make changes that will provide a good, safe environment for them to do positive interactions with other teens and with their families.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
How do we get in contact with you?
I will actually in the chat box, I will actually send you my my phone number as well as my email address. So that way you guys have my contact information.
While she's doing that, does anybody have any other questions? I'm currently involved with the Positive Youth Development Coalition, the action group there. And I've also been on the, is it YCC, Maggie? Is that the other? Okay. So I'm currently on both those groups, and it's been neat to see what those kids, she mentioned that guide. If anybody's interested in having one of those at your office or for your organization, please let Maggie know. Those are a tremendous guide that a lot of communities don't have, and this was put together by kids that have the resources for whether it's homeless shelters or mental health whatever their needs might be, where somebody's going, I don't know about this. I think it's excellent that they put that together, because there are so many resources in our communities that people don't know about, let alone teenagers. So. Okay. Well, without seeing any more questions right now, we will wrap up our meeting. Thank you, Maggie and Edrica, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go back to sharing my screen here. So next week, we have Emily Burke of Walker's Bluff joining us. And on the 18th, we have our community grant recipients from 2019, from last year's application cycle, joining us. Sorry. And then the following week is Thanksgiving. So we will not be meeting the week of the 25th due to Thanksgiving. Now it's time for the four-way test. I have on our doodle poll, we have a Linda signed up to assist us in the four-way test, or lead us in the four-way test, but we have two Lindas on the call today. So are the two of you going to battle it out for that responsibility, or is somebody ready to, is it one of you that specifically signed up?
Flowers did.
Okay.
The four-way test of what we think, say, or do. Number one.
Is it the truth?
The truth.
Number two.
Is
It
it
is fair to
fair to all
All concerned.
concerned?
Number three.
Will
Build goodwill and better
Better
friendships.
friendships.
Number four.
Will it be beneficial?
all
Concerned.
Thank you.
All right. So that adjourns our meeting for today. However, there is another meeting coming up right after this one. For those that are on the Centennial Committee, that meeting information was posted earlier in the chat. I'll share it again now. So that is not in this meeting room. It is in another meeting room. It was also sent out via email to those individuals. So, thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you. Good meeting.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Great.
See you.
All right.